In this video, traders, we're going to explore trading without fear. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. All right, so if you clicked on this video, you are probably someone who has taken a trade, been, oh man, you're hunched up, you really go over your desk, you're looking at the screens intently, maybe you're sweating a bit, heart rate's up, moving, watching every tick, and you're kind of trading, you might not want to admit it, but with fear. Like you're not, okay, I'm not frightened of anything, but those are attributes of fear, right? Your body has a physiological response that is fear-based. And it's like when the eternal protector that's saying, I'm frightened about losing money, I'm frightened about being wrong, I'm frightened about something, and we'll get to that in a moment. But you're kind of saying, okay, I don't want to trade with this, and quite right. There is a level of fear that is just going to harm your trading, because studies have shown it activates a different part of your brain, the fight or flight section, and you're making decisions from a completely different part of the brain. And so no matter how good of a trader you are, if you're trading from a perspective of fear and of self-preservation, you are never going to make the best decisions. However, saying that, I think there's a certain level of healthy fear. What does that mean? Well, if you imagine you had this, and I talk about this quite a lot, this emotional thermometer, right? Imagine this is your fear thermometer. So here is like, max fear, running for my life, wetting my pants type of thing. Did I say that? I did. Yeah, really, you know what I mean? This is ridiculous, real fight or flight. Min is like, just don't care, just really don't care. Not even bothered, just like, well, whatever. You know, you don't want either of those, right? We don't want to be completely nervous about losing loads of money in that fear. And you don't want to be nonchalant and not giving a care in the world about the market. You know, you want to be somewhere in the middle. There's a sweet spot, right? There's a sweet spot here. And that's where you want to be. And why do you want to be there? Because you need to have some respect for the market. You need to fear the market in enough, give enough respect. You know, imagine when you go out into the sea, the ocean, you're a surfer or whatever, there's a respect there, right? You've got to have some fear of it, because at any point, that could just bash you with a big wave, or it could whip you with a rip current or anything, right? You've got to have that healthy respect for it. If you ride a motorbike, if you're a fellow motorbike rider, you know, right? You've got a big machine under you, and it's an absolute weapon, and you've got to respect it. You don't fear it and go out, oh, I'm going to get run over, and you know, because you're going to get hit. You're just going to act completely ridiculous. You don't want to go out there and not care. And we want to riders who are like that, go out there and not care. They're on the back wheel all the time. They're doing 180, doing this, flying past things, and eventually it ends in tears. You've got to enjoy the bike and the reason you bought the bike, but at the same time, you know that, hey, this is a beast. This is a machine that can lose my license, lose my life. And so I'm going to give it the healthy respect it deserves in the right conditions, in the right environment, that type of stuff. And so trading is no different, right? We want to operate in a place where we're enjoying trading and making ourselves a better trader, right? Because if we are here, this is almost a state of, I'm in small position size or a demo, there are no consequences to my actions. It just doesn't matter. I'm completely eliminated fear, but I'm not going to get anything out of it. There's no gain for me. And you go, okay, well, and this is why kind of people switch from demo to live, because they had a little sprinkling of fear into it, and it changes the way they think. But then, you know, so where's the sweet spot? The sweet spot is to say, right, I don't want to eliminate fear, but I want to make sure it's manageable. I want to make sure I'm in a trade that's the adequate position size to make this trade worthwhile for me. Because there's no point in these stupidly small positions. Now, okay, let me just reverse for a second. If you are building a strategy and a plan and you're brand new, then absolutely you should do very, very small position sizes. But when you get to a point where you have a strategy and plan and you're reasonably effective, you don't want to be trading very, very small position sizes, because it's not going to move the needle on the account size you've got. It's almost meaningless. And yes, you might go, well, that means lets me trade without fear, but you're not going to do what you need to do in the market, which is to get the returns that you want. So you have to increase that position size. Now, if that position size goes too much, you're going to be frightened. Oh man, I'm going to lose a lot of my account here. So you've got to back it off a bit. And position size is only one of the dials you adjust, right? So you've got to find the position size that's right for you and the risk that you're taking on the trade and the type of trade. And so you need a little bit of healthy fear where you're like, okay, I need to manage this. This is a reasonable size position. This is an acceptable size position. This is the risk that I've accepted in this trade. The market could easily just wipe me out like this, so I need to respect this and understand that I come out if the trade is wrong, all that other stuff. However, I'm managing it. I'm comfortable, I'm calm, I'm breathing, I'm focusing, I'm alert, I'm looking at all the variables. You know, I don't need to do anything with it. and maybe backing off a touch from that so there's a little bit more comfort, or dialing up a little bit if you're trying to increase the size. It's just those slight adjustments. So the size is one, and also the type of market you're trading, right? If you're trading a really whippy, wild market, the volatility is going to instill fear, because that just magnifies obviously the moves and the P&L swings. And so you might want to trade something different and say, hey, or you might want to tame that with decreased size. One further thing that people don't talk about is the fear that you can't trust yourself. Yep, you don't know if you're going to trade on tilt. You don't know if you're going to break your rules. And that doesn't create a fear like, oh, as you would do if you were trading massive size in a trade. That creates an underlying lack of confidence. In other words, you're saying, yes, I'm going into the day, but actually I've got a little bit of fear there because I might trade on tilt. I've got a propensity to trade on tilt. I end up blowing up. I end up doing stuff I don't want to do. And that needs to be addressed separately, right? That's a completely separate topic that you have to nail down and trust yourself and trust your ability to stick to your rules, because then you can trade without that fear completely. You can eliminate that fear. You don't fear the fact that your chimp is going to get involved and start trading massive size and trade on tilt, because you've managed it, you've been through the process, you recognize the signs. And so the fear then comes from, hey, I've got a healthy respect for this market. I've got a position size that's meaningful for me in this trade, and I know that it could go wrong quickly, but I have a plan of action in place if it does. I hope it doesn't, but I'm there, I'm ready if it does. And that's the place to operate from, not eliminating it, but definitely not being in this max zone where you're constantly fearing and worried about stuff. Because if you are, it makes it impossible for you. Like I say, you use a different side of the brain to make decisions. So no matter how good of a trader you are, you put them in a fear state, they just become a completely different person. It's like putting a different person there, putting a new trader in there, even a worse than new trader, because it's someone who's just operating from self-preservation, and they're going to be taking profits early. They're going to be, don't want to do this and do that, and all the stuff that we don't want to do as a trader, which is why it's important not to let that thermometer go into the max level, because then you just do everything you don't want to do as a trader. You have to have it just off the max, preferably there in the middle, in that sweet spot, operating with a healthy respect and fear for the market, but not that it affects you physiologically and from a decision-making process. Hope that's helped, guys. Let me know if you trade from fear. Let me know if you're like, hey, you know what, Mark, I'm one of these guys who does trade from fear. I need to do it, and I'm going to do X to combat that. And mostly that way I'm going to back off the throttle in terms of position size, frequency, or whatever it may be. Whatever you do, guys, keep the risk managed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.